The Fremont Street Experience, known for its attractions, its hotels, its entertainment, the walk-up bars, and street performers. But there's one experience on Fremont Street that will haunt you long after you have left.
And it sounded to me in one of the rooms that was close to the elevator like a woman and a man arguing. And there's no one that was supposed to be in the hotel, so I ran.
Welcome to another episode of Las Vegas and Beyond. My name is Alan, and right behind me is the legendary Binions Gambling Hall, home of Hotel Apache. Now, there have been numerous supernatural encounters reported not only by the hotel staff, but also the guests. Welcome to part one of our two-part series, where I'll be taking you on a private guided tour where we'll visit areas of reported supernatural occurrences and see several hidden rooms and passageways. Now, over the years, there have been numerous accounts of hauntings and supernatural encounters at Hotel Apache posted on the internet and on social media. In fact, my buddy Ted recently attempted a staycation at Hotel Apache, but ended up leaving. I think he got scared. So I'll post a link to his video. However, I wanted to experience firsthand if these unexplained encounters are still happening by meeting with the management and staff of Binions, especially since our tour coincides with the first anniversary of Hotel Apache's reopening since July of 2019. Now, before we start, ghosts, spirits, and apparitions don't schedule meetings, so I can't guarantee we will see any on the tour. And if you watch to the very end, I'll share some of the weird anomalies that happened while making this video. Also know that I received special permission from Binions management to film on their property. So again, a big thank you to Binions management for letting me do this. Now, let's get started with today's video. A true pioneer of gaming in Nevada, Cowboy Benny Binion purchased both the El Dorado Club and Hotel Apache in 1951 and combined them into Binion's Horseshoe. Then, in 1988, the Binion family purchased the Mid Hotel and Casino. Our tour guides are Michelle, who is the assistant to the general manager at Binions, and social media coordinator Elizabeth of TLC Enterprises. The first stop on our tour is a sealed-off staircase in the hotel basement, where reports of unexplained shadows have been seen coming and going.
So we have this really great staircase. Feel free to go check it out. Watch your step.
Oh, wow. Before being sealed off, the staircase led to the area where the World Series of Poker tournaments were held, adjacent to the Binions Deli. There are two theories for the existence of the staircase. The first theory was that it was a passageway that led from the Merriment Theater to the hotel for celebrities to use while avoiding the public. The second theory is that it was used as a passageway for escorting the winners away from the World Series of Poker tournaments. Leave me a comment which theory you believe, or do you have another theory? Okay, so I now found some gentlemen who are willing to share their ghost stories. On my right is Carl, who is the director of purchasing for Binions, and on my left is Mike, who is the assistant director of food and beverage for both Binions and Four Queens. So gentlemen, what is the story?
Well, when I first started here at Binions, our offices were down the hall in a glass room. There was two desks side by side. Normal office, you have two desks, you have computers, you have employee files and stuff like that. Pictures on the wall. I was here late. It was like after 3 a.m. catching up on some work. This is the first time I've ever stayed this late in office down here. Well, I was doing my work, all of a sudden all the computers just shut off. It was just like a zip on both sides of the computers. And not 2 seconds later, all the pictures on the wall just dropped. None of them broke, they just dropped.
Oh, wow.
So, needless to say, I kind of booked it out of here. But as far by the looks of the pictures that were there, they had the dust.
Yeah, behind them.
It looks like it's been there for years.
Oh, wow.
And It's actually, the dust is still there. The printing of the dust, but they all came down at one time.
I think the natural reaction is to run.
Yeah,
that's what I've been hearing.
I just left.
All right. Well, thank you, Mike. And
You're
Carl,
welcome.
what do you have to share?
Okay, where Mike's office was the butcher shop. And a while back we had some mediums here. And next to Mike's office is our meat cooler, where we keep all the meat to send up to the butcher shop to get cut for all the outlets. Well, the medium came down and we were talking. And I said, well, I told her that used to be the butcher shop. And I said, this is the meat cooler. She starts walking towards the meat cooler and she goes, I'm not going in there. I go, excuse me? She goes, no, I'm not going in there. I said, okay. And obviously she felt something that was there.
Well, gentlemen, you know, I really appreciate the time. I can't thank you enough.
No problem.
You heard it from these two gentlemen. I mean, this is definitely something unexplainable and something supernatural. Any other stories?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I'm good.
If you're a vintage Vegas fan, then you'll appreciate this next part. Next up on our tour is a shortcut through Whiskey Liquor Up Saloon. Although not a secret, as you enter the stairwell up to the Whiskey Liquor Up Saloon, you'll notice petrified wood and a portion of a tiled window frame. Then as you reach the first landing, you'll see a photo of the Mint and former resident Patsy Cline. Upon closer inspection of the photographs, you will see the same petrified wood and tiled window frame. And just left to the photos is a portion of the original Mint sign. When Binions decided to build the Whiskey Liquor Up Saloon, they tore down the existing facade and discovered the original Mint exterior. Do you have a story you want to share?
Well, I can tell you firsthand. So our back kitchen, which is outside this hallway, on 2 separate occasions I've had experiences. One where I was walking through to the butcher shop and literally the temperature dropped probably 30, 40 degrees. And I'm not exaggerating, like literally is like, holy, that's cold. What, you know, and it wasn't air conditioning, wasn't anything like that. And then on a separate occasion, I was same place, not the same area, but the same kitchen, just a different area of the kitchen. I was walking through there, again, walking to the butcher shop, and somebody ran past me and brushed up against me, but there was nobody there. And then they brushed up against me enough that it moved me. It wasn't like, oh, maybe a bug hit me or something. Like it was crazy. I was freaked out for about 3 hours. I came back to my kitchen and I was like, you guys are never gonna believe this. But I've had some of my other cooks have had experiences as well.
If it was me, instead of going back to the kitchen, I would have headed straight over there
To the
for
bar?
for about 3 hours at the bar. I appreciate it, Marcus.
Yeah,
Nice
man.
talking to you.
Yeah,
Do a
thanks.
fist bump. Thanks again.
Yep.
So if you watched the episode of Ghost Adventures, and if you haven't, I'll be sure to put a link up here in the description. But this is the kitchen that Justin the bartender felt someone grab him.
We had a chef, he was walking back here with some other employee, but they're walking through here and he walks out of here and he hears all these dishes fall. He comes back and he looks around, doesn't see anything, and he's going to leave again and he sees this lady floating by. They basically did everything but run, and right when they got out of this area, they heard that crash again, but nothing broke, it was just crazy. When I walked into room 1819, you just felt this suffocation. I mean, you couldn't breathe. It was so thick, it was just incredible.
In the bedroom of room 1819 is a television that exhibits the same unpredictability as the TV scene on the Ghost Adventures Hotel Apache episode. And without fail, the TV responded as we expected.
All of a sudden the TV just pops right on and goes, "Did you see that?" Now we didn't hear the pop or anything. Now these TVs pop.
At that point, we decided we had overstayed our welcome. And besides, I had to hurry up and get downstairs for another interview. For this part of the tour, I have the privilege of meeting with Tim, who is the general manager of Binions.
Yep.
To my right is Shaun, And he is the director of slots for Four Queens.
Yes.
Okay. Tim, please share your story about what has happened recently at Hotel Apache.
Well, actually, right now we're in my office. And a little while back, me and Shaun were meeting, and as we're just sitting here in the office, I always have a pile of paperwork sitting on the corner of my desk, and you can kind of see it. This is the way it always looks. It's not hanging way over. And as we were talking, we were just in a conversation, nowhere close to this pile of paperwork, and we're just looking at each other, and actually he was sitting right in the chair where you're at right now. So we're talking, and the next thing you know, this whole pile just moved right over and went down, just like that. And we both kind of looked at each other and kind of looked at it and looked at each other and like, okay, our hands weren't around this thing, so we knew it wasn't us doing nothing. And when you have papers that are that stable,
right?
There's not. It's kind of hard to explain how that happened, but it did.
And so this meeting that you had with Tim, what were your thoughts? I mean, what did you think?
You know, it's really different when you're sitting here and you're talking about things that are going on in the casino and trying to get things squared away, and nobody's paying attention. Those papers are always there. He always has things that he has to get done. And you're in the middle of a conversation, and out of the side of your eye, you just see the papers go off the desk and onto the floor. You know, it's honestly, you're just, we're looking at each other going, I know where his hands were, I'm over here. Something had to move that, so.
And you said this was recently, correct?
This was recent. It was like, I think it was
months.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was definitely an experience.
We have reached the final part of our tour, Hotel Apache. Opened in March of 1932, Hotel Apache was built on the treacherous Old Spanish Trail. Hoover Dam cement contractor P.L. Silvani designed and built Hotel Apache. Copies of the blueprints can be found next to the original hotel elevator, which was the first electric elevator in southern Nevada.
So these are a copy of the blueprints of the Hotel Apache, P.L. Silvani.
Okay.
So he completely self-educated, came from Italy.
And you can see that none of the rooms are exactly the same. Back in the day, rooms with a view was not important, and bathroom size wasn't important.
However, those blueprints did not include the secret passageways and rooms. I ran into one of the security officers, Fuentes. He's going to tell you about his experience.
Okay, so during actually when Binions was closed for a little bit, and we still had to check the hotels, and I ended up here in the Apache on the 3rd floor. And it sounded to me in one of the rooms that was close to the elevator like a woman and a man arguing, and there's no one that was supposed to be in the hotel, so I ran. I was like, okay, it's time to be done.
Oh man! And that was just recently when you say because of the pandemic or the shutdown.
Yeah, I called it up. I was like,
oh,
no one's
wow.
supposed to be here, right?
Oh man!
So,
did you say anything? Like
yeah, I called it up. I was like,
okay.
Hello?
Got it.
And here then I was like, okay, I'm leaving. I'm going.
Wow.
No one's supposed to be in here.
I'm telling you, you need to come and stay here. This is wild. Built with 81 rooms on 3 floors, Hotel Apache has one room built on the 4th floor and labeled in the original blueprints as the penthouse. What makes this room special is that it is hidden from the guests. There are no indications or markings that this room even exists. The hotel elevator stops at the 3rd floor. In 2009, TLC Enterprises, owners of Binions and Four Queens, closed Hotel Apache and the coffee shop due to the 2009 economic recession. For over a decade, Hotel Apache sat dormant, but not vacant. It was during this period that several unexplained and supernatural encounters have occurred and been reported. The Sci-Fi Channel's Haunted Collector reported that there are spirits that remain in the halls and some rooms of Hotel Apache. Mediums that have walked through Hotel Apache claim that many of the spirits used to work in the hotel or have stayed at the hotel on a regular basis, and even some that have died on the property. Many paranormal investigations were conducted at Hotel Apache, which resulted in contact with several spirits. Okay, you guys remember Elizabeth from earlier? So we're up at 400. We're gonna go inside, but before we go inside, she is actually gonna tell me something about this room, especially the lock.
One of the original plans was to actually have this room available for guests to check out and try and stay in. With that said, we made a whole plan to have the lock match the rest of the locks in the hotel. And we used the exact same type of lock from the exact same company with the exact same setup. However, when we put this lock onto this door, it turns out that something did not appreciate having this lock on this door. And we have now gone through 8 total of these locks trying to make one work consistently. So we would put one on, it would work, we would try it again, it would not work. We'd switch out the locks, we'd try it, it would work. We'd try it again, it would not work. We had our engineering department look at it, we had the company look at it, we've had multiple people look at it. There's nothing wrong with the locks other than once you put them on this door, they stop working consistently.
Oh man. Yeah, it definitely sounds like there's something special about room 400. So, all right, we're gonna head in and let's hope nothing happens while we're in there. Did you guys hear that? Door's not even open yet, and I heard a creak. All right, let's go in. Known as room 400, it is said that this is the room where most movie stars and celebrities would stay to provide them with privacy from the other hotel guests. But this room has its own secrets. Hidden in the closet is a secret door that leads to the stairwell below. The second secret door is located just below the sink in the bathroom. That doorway leads to an area not included on the original hotel blueprints. I have also found another security officer. He is the supervisor of the security. So what happened?
Several years ago, when I was working on the night shift, one of my officers came up to me and said, well, in the Apache Hotel, this was before the Apache was what we call the East Hotel, while doing a patrol, he heard a very demonic type voice telling him to get out. He thought it was me because I kind of played with the guys and joked around a little bit, but when I told him it wasn't, the fear on his face and just the panic that came over him, I said, hey, let's take a walk up here. When we came up here together, the entire floor used to be dark, minimal lighting, but you could just feel something here that didn't want us here. This officer, who still works here, has no fear of nothing. And to see him in that state that he was in, it bothered me because, again, no fear, he has no hesitation, but he was afraid. And when we got up to the 3rd floor, I was afraid. We ended up talking out loud and saying a prayer just to say, hey, we're here doing our job, please leave us alone. We're gonna leave now. And that story will stick with me for as long as I be alive. It's gonna stick with me.
Now, do you ever have any eerie feelings when you go back to that area, or?
I have an eerie feeling every time I'm up here. Every round I make through here, every time I walk through here, you feel like you're not alone.
Okay.
And I'm not, there are guests here, but that presence I can't explain. You just know you're not alone.
Wow. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, here, I'm gonna stand next to Officer Harris. So, he's not a little guy compared to me. And if he's worried about it, I'm scared too. Joining me is Robert, who is the Corporate Surveillance Director for Binions and 4 Queens. Please share your story with us.
So my first 2 weeks on property, I was doing some walks around, getting familiarized with the property. I left the Binions surveillance room and came out into one of the Apache hallways, and as I turned around a corner, I saw a full-bodied, shadowy apparition come out of one wall, go into another, and almost immediately I started hearing 1930s, 1940s style music coming out of the room. At the time, there was no power, there was no radio in any of the rooms, and the music was definitely not coming from downstairs because it was more like Journey playing downstairs. So it definitely was not that. Went up, put my ear to the door, and I could physically hear the music coming out of the room. I believe it was room 227 at that time. It's been renumbered since the remodel.
Oh darn, I was gonna ask, what's that room so I can stay there the next time? Thanks for sharing your stories with us.
Oh, you're most welcome.
Next to room 400 is an unmarked door that leads to a maintenance room, used for the upkeep of the heating and cooling systems and roof access. Once you enter the room, on the immediate right is a door that leads to the passageway back to the bathroom in room 400. So I am here with Robert, and you have a story to tell us.
Yes, I do. So I come down during the construction, and I'm doing my normal routine, and I get to about right here, and I hear somebody knocking on this door. So I start filming it, and they stop. I take a couple steps backwards, I hit record again, and then I hear a feint on my video, and then I make a comment, there's somebody trying to get out from this door. And as soon as I make that comment, you hear.
That's this door.
And it was this door here. Now, this is a vent room. However, there was not operational, and there was no construction people up here when I made this film.
Somebody's trying to get out from this door. Somebody's trying to get out from this door.
But as you venture deeper into the maintenance area, you will pass several unmarked doors until you arrive at a room known by different names. Back in the day, you would pass a number of security officers to obtain access to this room. In this room is a rack with cubby holes that was used to sort currency. Today, jet sort devices sort the currency, and as the story goes, the currency was often sorted, not counted, by the children of Benny Binion's friends. Well, that wraps up our private guided tour at Hotel Apache. I really want to thank Binions management for allowing me to make this video possible and to share it with you. I also want to thank those reluctant Binion staff members who let me interview them, and to those who said no thanks and turned away, maybe next time. Now, as I promised, here are the weird anomalies that happened while making this video. First up was room 1819.
So we're leaving, and
As Michelle was sharing her story, as we looked out the window at the Plaza Hotel flag, you could hear a distinct rubbing sound. Now I know my microphone doesn't extend past my lens, and so I know it wasn't touching the glass or even touching the curtains. So I'll play that back again for you. Number 2 is the sealed staircase. Again, Michelle was explaining the second theory for the existence of the staircase, and as she talked and got towards the end, I started picking up static, and her voice kept cutting in and out, and there was this weird buzzing sound.
Held in that area, so perhaps the winners of the WSOP win in large amounts of money. Out this so there wouldn't be any.
I'm wondering if it's Michelle. I mean, she was at both of those. Michelle, you need to get yourself checked. Number 3 was the bathroom in room 400. Now, every time I tried to get a low shot of that secret door beneath the sink, my gimbal kept making a buzzing sound, and you can hear it in the video. I try to go down, I try to pull back from it so I can just show it, and my gimbal malfunctioned 3 times. I ended up going back the following day and did a handheld, left my gimbal out of the way and just did it myself. Again, I don't know why that gimbal has never done that before, but definitely something weird. The 4th and final one, and I'll actually play the clip. So this is weird. My volume on my camera keeps going up and down. I set it at 10, hit OK. It's jumped down to 6, or jumped lower to 6, and jumped up to 12. and I am not messing around. After each video, I would always check and do a little playback, and every time I went in, the volume setting either was down at 6 or up at 12. So again, whatever it is, I don't know, and I didn't find out about most of this until I got home. Now, before I do my usual ending, don't forget to stay tuned for part 2, where I spend the night in Hotel Apache in hopes of having my own supernatural experience. In fact, instead of calling it a staycation, let's call it a scarecation. So if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share it and leave me a comment if you've stayed at Hotel Apache and had your own ghostly encounter. Also, don't forget to click on that subscribe button, and don't forget to click on the bell icon so you'll be notified when I upload new videos, especially part 2. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Yeah, unless the ghosts get me. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but we've got a full Roman vapor. I think you can take a picture.